The present lecture focus on the soil washing, phytoremediation, immobilization techniques, since they are among the best demonstrated available technologies for heavy metal contaminated sites. The list of contents includes efficiency of immobilization, stabilization, solidification, what is meant by remediation techniques, that is the phytoremediation method, phytoextraction. Phytoextraction uses two basic approaches, that is using the natural plant accumulators based phytoextraction method, and the other one is chemically chelate based phytoextraction method or chelate induced phytoextraction method, in which different types of chelate as EDTA most widely used, phytostabilization, phytovolatilization, phytofiltration, that is similar to some extent phytoextraction, bioremediation technique. Bioremediation is basically the use of microorganisms or the plant for the treatment of polluted soil. It is widely accepted method of soil remediation because it is perceived to occur via natural process. It is cost-effective method of soil remediation. Although bioremediation is non-destructive method of soil remediation, but it is time-consuming. Its use for the treatment of heavy metal polluted soil is affected by the climatic and geological condition of the site to remediate it. Heavy metals cannot be degraded during bioremediation but can only transform from one organic complex or oxidation state to another organic complex or oxidation state. Due to change in oxidation state, heavy metals can be transformed to become either less toxic, easily volatilized, as in case of photovolatilization method, more water soluble forms thus removed through the leaching, less water soluble which allow them to precipitate and become easily removed from the environment or less bioavailable. Bioremediation of heavy metals can be achieved via the use of microorganisms, plants, or the combination of both microorganisms and plants. Biostimulation is implied for the biodegradation of organic pollutants. It can be used for remediation of heavy metal polluted soil. Since heavy metals cannot be biodegraded, biostimulation can indirectly enhance radiation of heavy metal polluted soil through alteration of the soil pH. It is well known that addition of organic material reduces the pH of the soil. This increases the solubility and hence bioavailability of heavy metals, which can be easily extracted from the soil. Biochar is one of the organic material that is being used for its potential in management of heavy metal polluted soil. The ability of biochar to increase soil pH, unlike most other organic amendments, may have increased absorption of these metals, thus reducing their bioavailability for plant uptake. It is very important that since characteristics of biochar vary widely depending on the method of production and feedstock used in the production, the effect of different biochar amendments will have on the availability of heavy metal in soil will also differ. The combined use of both microorganisms and plants for the remediation of polluted soil results in faster and more efficient cleanup of the polluted site. Mycorrhizal fungi have been used in several remediation studies involving heavy metals, and results obtained show that mycorrhizae imply different mechanisms for the remediation of heavy metals polluted soil. Some studies have shown enhanced phytoextraction through the accumulation of heavy metals in plants. Others reported enhanced phytostabilization through the metal immobilization and a reduced metal concentration in plants. Other microorganisms apart from mycorrhizal fungi have also been used in conjunction with plants for the remediation of heavy metals polluted soil. Most of these microbes are the plant promoting growth promoting rhizobacteria known as plant growth regulators that are usually found in rhizosphere. These plant growth regulators stimulate plant growth via several mechanisms such as phytohormones, supply of nutrients, production of chelating agents, specific enzyme activities, nitrogen fixation, reduction in ethylene production which encourage root growth. In general, plant growth regulators have been used in phytoremediation studies to reduce plant stress associated with heavy metals, polluted soil, enhanced accumulation of heavy metals such as cadmium and nickel by hyperaccumulators Brassica juncea and Brassica nervus, widely employed in phyto extraction process. Phytoremediation, also known as green remediation, botany remediation, agro remediation or vegetative remediation, can be defined as in situ remediation strategy that use vegetation and associated microbiota, soil amendments, agronomic techniques to remove, contain environmental contaminants harmless. The idea of using metal accumulating plants to remove heavy metals and other compounds was first introduced in 1983, but the concept has been implemented for the past 300 years on wastewater discharge. Plants may break down or degrade organic pollutants or remove and stabilize metal contaminants. Plants growing on heavy metal polluted soils shows a reduction in their growth due to changes in their physiological and biochemical activities. This is true when the heavy metal involved doesn't play any beneficial role towards the growth and development of plants. Bioremediation can be effectively used for the treatment of heavy metal polluted soil. It is most appropriate when the remediated site is used for crop production because it is non-destructive method of soil remediation. Using plants for bioremediation, that is the phytoremediation, is more common approach to bioremediation of heavy metals compared with use of microorganisms. Phytoremediation is energy efficient, aesthetically pleasing method of remediating sites with low to moderate level of contamination. It can be used in conjunction with more traditional remedial methods. Phytoextraction, phytovolatilization, phytostabilization are implied and most commonly used methods in phytoremediation. Remediation technologies for heavy metal contaminated soil are listed under 5 categories as isolation, immobilization, toxicity reduction, physical separation and extraction. It may be convenient to employ a hybrid of 2 or more of these approaches for more cost effectiveness. The key factors that may influence the applicability and selection of any available remediation technologies are cost, long-term effectiveness, commercial availability, general acceptance, applicability to high metal concentration, applicability to mixed waste, toxicity reduction, mobility reduction, volume reduction. Phytoremediation basically aspect of bioremediation that uses plants for the treatment of polluted soil. It is suitable when pollutants cover a wide area and when they are within the root zone of the plant. Phytoremediation of heavy metal polluted soil can be achieved via different mechanisms. These mechanisms include phytoextraction, phytostabilization, phytovolatilization. Phytoextraction is the most common method of phytoremediation used for the treatment of heavy metal polluted soil. It ensures the complete removal of pollutants, combining both plants and microorganisms in bioremediation increases the efficiency of this method of remediation. Both mycorrhizal fungi and other plant growth regulators have been successfully incorporated in various phytoremediation programs. The success of the combined use of these organisms depends on the species of microbes, plants involved, and to some extent on the concentration of heavy metals in the soil. Phytoextraction is the name given to the process where plant roots uptake metal contaminants from the soil and translocate them to their above soil tissues. A plant used for phytoremediation needs to be heavy metal tolerant, grow rapidly with a high biomass yield per hectare, having high metal accumulating ability in the foliar parts, have a profuse root system and high bioaccumulation factor. In most cases, plants absorb metals that are readily available in the soil solution. Although some metals are present in soluble forms for plant uptake and others occur as insoluble precipitate and are unavailable for the plant uptake. This is the most common form of phytoremediation that involves the accumulation of heavy metals in the roots and shoots of the phytoremediation plants. These plants are later harvested and incinerated. Plants used for phytoextraction usually possess the following characteristics: rapid growth rate, high biomass, extensive root system, ability to tolerate high amount of heavy metals, ability to tolerate high concentration of heavy metals by these plants may lead to metal accumulation in the harvestable part. This may be problematic through contamination of food chain. There are two approaches to phytoextraction depending on the characteristics of plants involved in the process. First approach involves the use of hyperaccumulator, that is the plants with high metal accumulating ability, and second approach that use the metal induced with the chelates known as chelates induced phytoextraction method. Chelate assisted phytoextraction. This is the approach that involves the use of high biomass plants whose ability to accumulate metals is induced by the use of chelates, that is soil amendments with metal mobilizing capacity. It is also known as chemically enhanced phytoextraction. When the chelating agents such as that include EDTA, ethylene diamine tetraesteric acid, EDDS, ethylene diamine disuccinic acid, CDTA, trans 1,2-diamine cyclohexane, NN-N- tetraesteric acid, EDDDHA, DTPA, the name HEDTA, the name given, with their abbreviation. These chelating agents applied to the soil, metal sealant complexes are formed that taken up by the plants. Chelators have been isolated from the plants that are strongly involved in the uptake of heavy metals and detoxification. EDTA is a synthetic chelate that is widely used not only because it is the least expensive compared with other synthetic chelates, but also it has ability to successfully improve the plant metal uptake. Organic chelates such as citric acid, malic acid can also be used to improve the phytoextraction of heavy metals. Addition of chelating substances prevents precipitation and metal absorption via the formation of metal chelate complex. This increases the bioavailability of these metals. Further, the addition of chelates to the soil can transport more metals to the soil solution through the dissolution of precipitated compounds and desorption of absorbed species. Certain chelates are also able to translocate heavy metals into the shoots of the plants. Addition of EDTA to lead contaminated soil increased shoot lead concentration of Z-mase and Syncytium sativum, that is P, from less than 500 mg per kilogram to more than 10,000 mg per kilogram. Enhanced accumulation of metal by plant species with EDTA treatment is attributed to many factors. These factors include increase the concentration of available metals, enhanced metal EDTA complex movement to the roots, less binding of metal EDTA complex with the negatively charged cell wall constituents, damage to physiological barriers in the roots either to greater concentration of metal or EDTA or metal EDTA complex, increased mobility of metals within the plant body when complexed with EDTA compared to the free metal ions, facilitating the translocation of metals from roots to shoots. It is another most common approach of phytoextraction that use the natural plant hypoaccumulator. Most hyperaccumulators are generally slow growers with low plant biomass. This reduces the efficiency of remediation process. Thus, in order to increase the efficiency of phytoextraction, plants with high growth rates as well as high biomass, for example maize, sorghum, alfalfa, are used together with the metal chelating substances for soil remediation process. It is important to note that some hyperaccumulators such as certain species with Brassica genus, Brassica napus, Brassica Juncea and Brassica rapa are the fast growers with high biomass. Generally, a plant can be called a hyperaccumulate if it meets the following criteria, that is the concentration of metal in the shoots must be higher than 0.1% for aluminum, arsenic, cobalt, chromium, copper, nickel and selenium, and higher than 0.01% for cadmium and higher than 1% for zinc. The ratio of shoot to root concentration must be consistently higher than 1. This indicates the capability to transport metals from roots to shoot and existence of hypertolerability. The ratio of shoot to root concentration must be higher than 1. This indicates the degree of plant metal uptake. Piperus vittata is an example of hyperaccumulator that can be used for the remediation of soil polluted with arsenic. Some plants have ability to accumulate more than one metal. The possibility of contaminating the food chain through the use of hyperaccumulator is major limitation in phytoextraction. However, many species of Brassicaceae family are well known to be hyperaccumulator of heavy metal, contain high amounts of thiocyanate, which makes them available to animals, thus reduces the availability of these metals in the food chain. Phytostabilization. Phytostabilization involves the using plants to immobilize metals, thus reducing their bioavailability via absorption and leaching. It used when phytoextraction is not desirable or even possible. Phytoremediation is best applied when the soil is so heavily polluted so that using plants for metal extraction would take a long time to achieve and thus would not be adequate. Phytostabilization of heavy metals takes place as a result of precipitation, absorption, metal valence reduction or complexation. The efficiency of phytostabilization depends on the plant and soil amendment used. Plants help in stabilizing the soil through their root system, thus they prevent erosion. Plant root system prevent leaching via reduction of water percolation through the soil. In addition, plants prevent man's direct contact with the pollutant and they provide surfaces for the metal precipitation and absorption. Phytostabilization is very useful when rapid immobilization of heavy metal is needed to prevent groundwater pollution. However, because the pollutants remain in the soil, constant monitoring of the environment is required and this may become a problem. Phytostabilization, referred to as in-place inactivation, is concerned with the use of certain plants to immobilize soil, sediments and sludges. Contaminants are absorbed and accumulated by the roots, absorbed onto the roots, precipitated in the rhizosphere. This reduces or prevents the mobility of contaminants, preventing migration into the groundwater or air, and also reduces the bioavailability of contaminants, thus preventing spread throughout the food chain. Plants for use in phytostabilization should be able to decrease the amount of water percolating through the soil matrix, which may result in the formation of hazardous leachate, act as a barrier to prevent direct contact with the contaminated soil, prevent soil erosion and the distribution of toxic metal to other areas. Phytostabilization occurs through the process of absorption, precipitation, complexation or metal valence reduction. Technique is useful for the cleanup of lead, arsenic, cadmium, chromium, copper and zinc. It can also used to re-establish a plant community on site that have been destroyed due to high level of metal contamination. Once a community of tolerant species has been established, the potential for wind erosion is reduced, leaching of the soil contaminants is also reduced. Phytostabilization is having advantages because disposal of hazardous material is not required. It is effective when rapid immobilization is needed to preserve ground and surface water. Phytofiltration is the use of plants' roots, which is known as rhizofiltration, or seedling known as blastofiltration, similar in concept to phytoextraction, but is used to absorb or adsorb pollutants, mainly metals, arsenic, cadmium, zinc, chromium, from the groundwater and aqueous waste streams rather than the remediation of polluted soils. Rhizosphere is the soil area immediately surrounding the plant root surface, typically up to a few milliliters from the root surface. The contaminants are either adsorbed onto the root surface or absorbed by the plant roots. Plants used for rhizofiltration are not planted directly in situ but are acclimated to the pollutant first. plants are hydroponically grown in clean water rather than soil until a large root system has developed. Once a large root system is in place, the water supply is substituted for polluted water supply to acclimatize the plant. After the plant becomes acclimatized, they are planted in the polluted area where the root uptakes the polluted water and contaminants along with it. As the root becomes saturated, they are harvested and disposed of safely. Repeated treatments of the site can reduce pollution to suitable levels. Photovoltaization is a type of voltaization in which plants use to take up pollutants from the soil, and these pollutants are transferred into volatile form and transferred into atmosphere. Photovoltaization is mostly used for the remediation of soil polluted with mercury. The toxic form of mercuric iron is transformed into the less toxic form as shown, that is the elemental mercury. The problem with this process is that new product form, that is elemental mercury, may be redeposited into lakes and rivers after being recycled by the precipitation. Thus in turn repeats the process of methyl mercury production by anaerobic bacteria. Therefore genetic engineered plants are mostly used in photovoltaization. Example of transgenic plants which have been used for photovoltaization of mercury polluted soil are Nicotiana tabacum, Arabidopsis thaliana. These plants are genetically modified to include gene for mercuric reductase. Photovoltaization can also be applied for the remediation of soil polluted with selenium. This involves the assimilation of inorganic selenium into organic selenoamino acid, that is selenocysteine, selenomethionine. Selenomethionine is further biomethylated to dimethyl selenide, which is lost into the atmosphere via volatilization. Plants which are successfully used for the photovoltaization of soil polluted with selenium are Brassica juncea and Brassica nepus. And this is all about the photovoltaization that shown here. Solidification and stabilization. Solidification involves the addition of binding agents to a contaminated material to impart physical stability to contain contaminants in a solid product and reduce excess by external agents through a combination of chemical reaction, encapsulation, reduced permeability. Stabilization also referred to as fixation, that involves the addition of reagents to the contaminated soil to produce more chemically stable constituents. General approach for solidification stabilization. Treatment processes involves mixing or injecting treatment agents to the contaminated soil. Inorganic binders such as clay, bentonite, kaolinite, cement, fly ash, blast furnace, slag, calcium carbonate, iron to manganese oxide, charcoal, zeolite, organic stabilizer such as bitumen, compost, manure, or a combination of organic inorganic amendments may be used. The dominant mechanism by which metals are immobilized is by precipitation of hydroxide within the solid matrix. Solidification stabilization technologies are not useful for some form of metal contamination such as species that exist as oxyanion, as chromium oxide, arsenic oxide, or metals that don't have low solubility hydroxide, for example mercury. solidification stabilization may not be applicable at the sites containing waste that include organic forms of contamination, especially if volatile organics are present. Mixing and heating associated with binder hydration may release organic vapors. Pre-treatment such as air stripping or incineration may be used to remove the organic and prepare the waste for metal stabilization solidification. Efficiency of immobilization. Immobilization technology often uses organic and inorganic amendments to accelerate the attenuation of metal mobility and toxicity in soil. The primary role of immobilizing amendments is to alter the original soil metal to more geochemically stable phases by absorption, precipitation and complexation process. The efficiency and capacity of different additives for immobilization can be evaluated using expression given below. E is the efficiency of immobilization agent. Capacity of immobilization agent is represented by P, and Me is the equilibrium extractable concentration of the single metal in the immobilized soil, which is expressed in milligram per liter. M0 is the initial extractable concentration of single metal in the pre-immobilized soil, also expressed in milligram per liter. And B is the volume of metal salt solution. M is the weight of the immobilization agent expressed in gram. High value of E and P, that is metal efficiency and capacity of immobilization, represents the perfect efficiency and capacity of an additive that can be used in a field studies of metal immobilization. After screening out the best efficient additive, another experiment could be conducted to determine the best ratio for the field fixing treatment. After fixing the treatment of contaminated soil, a lot of methods including biological and physiochemical experiments could be used to assess the remediation efficiency.